we went to South Sudan. First 6 months were paradise. मुझे लगा यार इन्होंने गलती से भेज दिया, यहाँ पे कुछ ज्यादा करने का है नहीं. It's chill, you focus on your studies, you're focused on your training, your firing, handling of weapons. So you're streamlined your thought process. You have a set schedule. But on the 2nd or 3rd of December in 2013, there was a coup in Juba, where 600 to 700 Nuers were killed by the Dinka tribe. So basically, the president Salva Kiir was a Dinka, and the Riek Machar was the vice president. He was a Nuer. So वहाँ पे tribal war होता है. So the thing is that in one tribe you will have a Muslim and a Christian eating from the same plate. So for them, religion is not priority. The tribe is the priority. So this was one new concept and thought process and psychological aspect that I realized when it comes to warfare. कि अच्छा इनकी motivation क्या है? इनकी motivation है safeguarding the tribe. तो वहाँ पे tribal warfare है, religious warfare नहीं है. Though division of North and South Sudan was based on religion, but here the fight was within two tribes of the same country, that is South Sudan, which was divided on the basis of being a Christian country.
Got it.
So the first ambush that took place was that on 24th of December, the governor of Malakal along with his bodyguards came to our camp. साथ में उसके 200 or 300 soldiers with heavy weapons. अफ्रीका में एक चीज आप देखोगे when you are on a mission, that their weapons की कोई कमी नहीं. They'll have the heaviest caliber of weapon to the latest and sophisticated mode of weapon. So वहाँ पे क्या है, lot of weapons are being sold and bought there. But the problem is that UN mechanism has to be more effective to monitor them. And the countries which are providing name countries were there. But the thing is that everyone has to have a very mature approach towards Africa. You can't exploit it. So we genuinely went in for peacekeeping. But once we were attacked and our soldiers and officers were martyred over there, it moreover became of a peace enforcement. We have to enforce peace. We have to ensure that there is no killing happening or any massacre happening. So you saw the videos on YouTube which I sent you. So that was taken from Turopi. So it is an honor and privilege of having a post named after my name over there, that is called Tour Observation Post. And again, Colonel Manish Sharma, Sena Medal, he was my CO. And it is an honor that I'm still living, I'm alive. And it's a different feeling of being alive. And you know that on a foreign land, there is a post on your name called Turopi in the state of Malakal in South Sudan, Upper Nile state. So 3 Madras had gone, 13 Jackrif had also gone there for the UN mission. And you trust me, after the UN mission, when I came back to India, I got an urgent call from 13 Jackrif ki, sir, there are intelligence input that there could be attack on the log base. So you know the area so well. So please brief us what all are the vulnerable area and vulnerable points and infiltration point into the camp. And that is the time where it was a matter of pride, where I told them and explained to them, and they actually went on and realized, हाँ यहाँ पे breach हो सकता है. क्योंकि जो सरकंडे है ना, the सरकंडे, the wild grass used to grow up to 7 feet tall around the whole logistic base. So, 1-1.5 kilometer tak you will not know who's approaching towards you for attacking you. So, on 25th of December 2013, the attack on our base took place. Initial attack was that there's a place called Nasser. Wahan se the rebel forces came in thousands. There were 5,000 to 6,000 people. And by the time the attack commenced at 7 o'clock in the morning, 3,000 rebels attacked the South Sudan government forces, their army, SPLA, Sudanese People Liberation Army. So once they attacked their army officials came to our camp for seeking refuge. That, sir, we want refuge, we are going to get killed. And within these 2-3 days, we had an influx of approximately 28,000 people in the camp. and we had no accommodation or place for accommodating such a situation. So जहाँ पे हम रह रहे थे वहीं पे ही सारे थे initially. For that first month, it was chaotic. So when I'm coming out from my cabin, I'm seeing the hundreds of people outside, just sleeping, laying down, taking cover and all. So I established this 2 rupee post on the 23rd of December, and name ऐसे पड़ा कि that was the only observation post which could give a early warning कि 10 किलोमीटर दूर से गाड़ियां आ रही हैं रेबेल फोर्सेस की.
Okay.
और if they are coming on foot तो उस डायरेक्शन में धूल उठ रही है. So there is movement in that direction. So people did not know what to call that post. And I, having created that post, I used to man it 24/7. You will not imagine, my food used to come in a BMP. जो मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री का टैंक होता है ना, बीएमपी. तो बीएमपी में मेरा टिफिन आता था. हम ऊपर से रस्सी फेंकते थे, वो बेसिकली कंटेनर्स थे. यू सीन द फोटोग्राफ.
यस.
हम नीचे से रस्सी फेंकते, वो रस्सी से बांधते थे, फिर हम टिफिन ऊपर खींचते थे, एंड देन वी यूज्ड टू हैव अ फूड. एंड इफ वी हैड टू गो एंड रिलीव आवरसेल्व्स, है ना, फॉर क्लियरिंग आवर स्टमक एंड आवर रूटीन, वी टू लिटरली गो डाउन विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ रोप, 3 कंटेनर्स. सो इट वाज लाइक क्लाइंबिंग अ कॉम्बैट रोप, ऑलमोस्ट डबल द लेंथ. तो बीच में जब कंटेनर्स के गैप आते थे, वहां पे हम थोड़ा रेस्ट लेते कि हाथ और पैर ठीक हो जाए, फिर हम वी टू क्लाइंब. So it took us approximately 15 days to create a well-do welding and make an improvised ladder to make the troops go up and start changing duties. So I did not take bath for 4 days. मैं 4 दिन से मैं ऊपर से उठा ही नहीं, and I had to call in for extra water because it was an iron container. ऊपर से heat हो जाती थी during day. Temperature used to go to 43 to 50 degrees. तो I had to literally wet my clothes. मैं पानी डाल के गीला करके मैं उस पे लेटा रहता था, नीचे बोरी बिछा के, सैंडबैग्स लगा के. I had a sniper rifle with me with the telescopic sight, binoculars, and Havaldar Jatinder used to be there, now retired. Now he's a constable in Gwalior police. So he had experience of RR. So he said, साहब अगर आप इस पोस्ट पे आपने ये पोस्ट बनाई और आप ऊपर जा रहे हो तो देखो, you are new in the Paltan, you are a young guy, you need an experienced hand to guide you. So he said, साहब I will be there up with you वहाँ पे. So I agreed, and I will not shy away about it. I used to take guidance from him. I used to call him Ustad because ये सारे नए थे, they हवलदार and all, and I was a lieutenant. So I used to say, उस्ताद मुझे बताओ ये अब यहाँ से आया तो अगर मगर की कार्रवाई क्या करेंगे, अगर उधर से आ गया तो क्या करेंगे. So we used to keep brainstorming, and with his experience to keep telling me, साहब ऐसे करो ऐसे करो. And trust me, on 24 December he said, साहब इस सरकंडे को तो जला ही दो. मैं क्या जला दें? कहते हैं हाँ, ये खाने की चीज थोड़ा ना है, तो झोपड़ी वोपड़ी का सामान बनाना उसके लिए. कहते ये तो हर जगह है. So next day I said, okay, आग लगा दो. तो एक जगह से आग लगानी शुरू की, and after basically on 25th December when the gunfight took place, early morning, and it was approximately 8 to 9 hours of gunfight took place, and so much fire came onto us. And that day in the camp of 28,000, I gave a early warning almost 3 or 4 minutes before that there is an attack which is going to come. Okay. Despite that, 18 refugees were fatal casualties due to the bullets, stray bullets coming into the camp.
Got it.
And after that first day of encounter, my baptism into combat took place. We spent thousands of rounds and all, and I believe then that day the n number of rebels were also shot, and and जिन्हें गोली लग रही थी वही बाद में अंदर आ रहे थे कैजुअल्टी कि भाई रिबेल फोर्सेस, ये गवर्नमेंट फोर्सेस के तो फायर फाइट में ये कैजुअल्टी हुआ है. Whereas they were shot by us only, the rebel forces. But the charter of UN is we cannot deny anybody that we will not assist. So the problem was that the government forces came in large numbers into the camp, saying they used to surrender their weapon and they used to come in. And after 5-6 hours, when the rebel forces realized, यार ये सारे के सारे तो UN camp के अंदर हैं, so they got a sitting target of thousands of government forces, refugees, and so they surrounded a camp and they commenced with the attack. So we had that time Major Nautiyal from Mechanized Air Forces. So he opened a fire from his BMP. Then Lieutenant Colonel Ghosh was there at post number 5. He opened his MMG from that direction. I opened fire from the Alpha Gate, and it was a well coordinated repulsive attack by us, and we thwarted at least 4 to 5 waves of attack that night on 25th December, that Christmas night. And there were around 3 to 4,000 rebels. You've seen the video.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we had no time to even go relieve ourselves or nothing. In fact, we did not eat the next day. हमने कहा we rather be here than eat. It's better to stay alive than, quench our thirst, and it's better to stay hungry, but at least we will know we are alive. So it's better to spend extra time here, focus on the enemy or any movement. And difficult time used to start at night, but thankfully we had night vision devices. So with the help of night vision devices and binoculars and all, and thermal imagers, we used to get to know, okay, moment, they are planning an attack. Before the moment they used to accumulate, we used to open fire. So we used to thwart their planning only. So वो अपने जब कॉन्क एरिया concentration एरिया में इकट्ठे होने लगते थे, वहीं पे फायर डाल देते. So after the 25th of December, attacks were not very effective. So ये था, and there was a point of time where we were told that the first shot has to be below the waist. But once we realized they are coming in thousands and they are not looking at anything and inconsiderate, they're killing men, women, children of all ages, then we realized, no, we have to terminate and eliminate them. And trust me, I defied orders that day. I ran outside from my post to the entrance on 26th morning. There were approximately 300 refugees sitting at our gate. Okay. And it was manned by UNPOL, UN police. Now, these officials are from all over the world. And I went in, I lost my cool. I gave them a mouthful, negative words. I hurled words at them. And I told them, get them in. And they told me that I was promoted to a captain. I take pride in saying I was promoted as a captain in a foreign country, on a foreign land. So my rank as a captain, I was promoted from lieutenant to captain in South Sudan. So that is the time when I told them, get them in. They said, do you take responsibility? What if they're carrying a weapon and there is an attack in the camp? I said, I take full responsibility, but I can't let aged ladies, pregnant women, young girls, old men, brothers, sisters, husbands, sons, छोटे daughters be massacred in front of our eyes. So I told the UNPOL people that whatever your protocol is, I am responsible. Give my name. Anything goes wrong, I am responsible. And I opened the gate. Trust me, there were people crying and just they held my hand. They were literally kissing my hand and hugging me and moving in. So at that moment of time, I did not pay heed. I kept shouting, hurry up, come to my right side, lie down here, leave your stuff at the gate. So all these people came, and इनके पास पोटली होती थी, 2-4 कपड़े होते हैं, एक पानी की कैनी होती थी, that is all. They had nothing on them. बच्चे होते थे, most of them are naked with no clothes on, or few with clothes on and malnourished. बुरा हाल था इनका. So I came, and then they literally lay down, and I ran back to the post. And while I was running back to the post, heavy volume of fire was opened. And trust me, वो कहते हैं ना, hand of God. That day, morning of 26th December, it was the hand of God. I do not know, in that fire, जो गोलियां आ रही थी in my general direction, I did not think twice. I just sprinted to my post, Dhuropi, to climb it ऊपर. It was behind level 2 hospital. And when I reached, trust me, Havaldar Jitinder gave me a mouthful and said, have you lost it? Are you mad? I said, men are here. You guys are here. I had to come back. But he said, there's so much of fire happening. I said, मैं पहुंचता नहीं तो आप लोगों का क्या होगा? And that is the time when he said, okay, let's not discuss the topic now, focus on the enemy. And see, these things you don't realize after 2 days, after a month. You realize these things, unfortunately, after you see mortal remains, you see a lot of death, gore, blood, then you just sit back, and over a drink, sitting alone. Officers usually, young officers are usually, क्या कहता हूँ, solitary उसमें रहते हैं, अकेले ही usually रहते हैं. When they think, they need time to themselves, we analyze a lot.
Hmm.
And after that, I imagined, and then, that thought, what if, then that factor comes in, what if. Aage, I needn't tell. I'm sure you know what I mean to say.
Yes.
So then, with combat experience over the years, the what if factor makes you more mature. So when things like these happen, that is the time when you say, okay, that is how you grow in service. That's how you become more mature.
Hmm.
कहते हैं ना, बहादुरी और बेवकूफी में there is a very thin red line. So that thin red line is called what if. That is in my dictionary.
Hmm.
So the what if theory is very dicey, but it is a very big learning lesson in one soldier's life, especially the one who's into combat.
Hmm.
And then after that, combat was very frequent. We used to go on city patrolling, and we used to apprehend these rebels, who were out of ammunition at times in the firefight. We used to apprehend them. We used to get them and hand them over to the UN police and other officials, and then the Red Cross used to be there. So all that process used to take place. In fact, I feel proud that the Nuer tribe was suppressed quite a lot. Though it was an aggressor tribe, it had commenced with the coup. But the fact is that, when they said, because Ghaninian army had come for peacekeeping. So when the Ghaninians went towards their campsite at Arlok base for protection, their chief, they have these kings there, the Nuer king of that area, that state. He came to our commanding officer and he said that they used to call us chief. That the way when they address any commander, any officer, the chief. We do not want the Ghana forces to protect us. We want only the Indian forces there. So, Mahatma Gandhi's approach to freedom and peace, non-violence, being fair and just, no partiality, no red tapeism, So probably as Indians, when we step onto foreign land, these qualities, I feel proud, are naturally imbibed into us. Let everyone merit a prize who deserves it. Let us not corrupt the environment or favor anyone. So, and be fair and just. And more than that, if somebody is not able to do it, then be compassionate. Have that theory of apply yourself. Think that you are the person before addressing the person opposite to you. So if you give respect, you get respect. And if you give respect, you get back aggression. Well, you end the other person's chapter. End of story. Needn't turn the page. You close the book and discard it. So aggression will not be accepted. That is a fact. How we train and go out. So that is how things are. Yeah.